Namaste. We'll wait a few moments for us to collect. He's at sitting and becoming present is such a privilege. And hopefully, as we all attempt to do it, perhaps with the incentive of doing it more often, we become more present, we become more seated, we become more connected, more often than not. So eventually the gift of becoming centered starts to become part of our norm. A lot can take us off center. A lot can take us off balance as humans, right? These are tough days, right? And the more tender we are, the more we realize how tough they are, right? So we will be taken off our center. We will be thrown off our game. We will feel like the rug is being pulled out from underneath us. We will be tilted off center. But the more we sit, really, really sit, the more we cultivate awareness, it starts to become our norm in such a way that we were living richer and fuller and deeper lives as individuals and as a community. So amen to you for showing up, especially those of you that have a consistent practice now, and I'm sure you're seeing the benefit of it. You know, usually there's some incentive or stimulus that kind of throws us, that propels us into these experiences, like, for example, the pandemic, right? It threw us all off our game, so we needed, you know, we were searching and we were striving for something to make us feel grounded and centered, right? But now, as we are more accustomed, you know, we have new customs now, you know, masks, 6 feet, no handshake, etc., etc. Now that we're accustomed to that, it might not throw us off our game so greatly, but what a blessing that that's what got us here, right? It's always something difficult, always something challenging in your existence that got you here now. Let's tune in. Namaste. So, part of my new current ritual since pandemic is giving myself extra time in my practice. It's a good 2 hours of sadhana, maybe even a little longer. And before, for whatever reason, as a businesswoman or whatever, a person always of action and inaction and blah, 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 life, and stuff to do, I didn't give myself all that time, I didn't prioritize my practice as much as I am now. So that's been an incredible gift and great lesson for me that's come through this crazy upside down time that we're living in, that it's taught me, it's given me the gift of paying more attention to what I need to operate more wholly and efficiently with more ease during a time of crisis. So within the couple hours that I have for myself every single day, I come in and I do some sound healing work. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got a beautiful gong that was gifted to me by some dear students and some, hey, hi everybody, nice to see everybody popping in. A beautiful gong that was gifted to me by a few students, and also some beautiful crystal singing bowls. So my first thing after I wash my hands is to come over and make some noise, to just kind of stir the pot, if you will. And as I stir the pot, the practice is about listening to the tune, listening to the vibration that comes through. And on any given day, there's a certain amount of clarity where I can hear it immediately, or some muddled fuzziness depending on where my head is at and how much chatter is going on at any given moment. But the practice is really to listen and to really hear the sound waves as they come to me. And as I do it, I notice that the hit of the mallet on, say, the gong and or the singing bowls is different every single day, because I'm different every single day. So the amount of kind of velocity, the amount of energy, or what kind of energy is going into the hit of the mallet as it strikes the bowl, if you will, is always different. And there's a certain amount of kind of application that is occurring. And what I mean by that is, some days I'll hit very kind of soft and quiet and I hardly get any sound out of it, and other days that I give it a good whack smack and it's this very crazy intense sound. And I've been noticing that as I go to these instruments day in and day out, it takes me a few moments to find the balance of how hard to hit so that there's a nice, clean, clear sound, and at the same time, how soft and delicately to hit so that the sound is smooth and resonates for a substantial amount of time. So I think what I'm getting at is, metaphorically, I'm sure most of you that have been tuning in pretty consistently know that one of my great tools of communication has been by way of metaphor, because I feel like it's something that we can all relate to. Not everybody has singing bowls, not everybody has a 2-hour ritual practice, but we can all relate to the metaphor that comes through that, which is, how hard are we hitting our lives, right? And or how softly. And it's always about taking time to listen. What do you need today? Because it ain't gonna be what you had yesterday. It's going to be different every single day. The amount of energy that takes you to hit and strike, say, the mallet to the bowl to create a sound, it's going to be different every single day because you are different. Some days you need more, some days you need less. So what I'm getting at is it's always about clearing out some time to pay attention. It's really nice to do that first thing in the morning if you can, and to just have a little ritual, like the minute you get out of bed, to just take a moment, take a few breaths, check in with how you're feeling. Are you scattered? Are you fatigued? Are you anxious? Are you this, that, or the other thing? And I assure you, it is not about how to get rid of that. And distractions are nice. They do help, but they are temporary. The practice isn't how to distract yourself out of what you're feeling when you find it. The practice is learning how to work with it. How hard are you hitting, or how softly are you hitting with what's coming at you at any given moment in time? This kind of ping pong, if you will, with life. Like, what's being tossed at you right now? What kind of energy is it? And how do you give it back in such a way that you can come into a state of balance with that, right? You know, it takes me a little while when I come in. It's first thing in the morning is I hit, right? It takes me a while to get that nice like smooth, steady sound. If I hit it too hard, the mallet bumps along the bowl and gives me this kind of crazy, frenetic sound. And if I hit it too lightly, you know, it's not going to wake me up, right? It's not going to vibrate. So checking in always, because we are instruments, right? I don't know how it happens, but I feel like it's happened for all of us. It's like we've lost sight of what it really means to be a human. Like somehow we've turned ourselves into machines. Like just get up and operate. Just get up and turn the on button on, go. You know, come home late at night, eat your meal, and go to bed, and do that again, it kind of as a robot. And it's like we've lost the sense of really tuning into oneself, really, really listening. What's vibrating through you right now? And then you apply whatever degree, you know, whatever amount that you need to apply to get on with your day. Does that mean you need to go for a long walk before you start whatever it is that you're doing in your day, or sit and meditate, or journal, or stand on your head, or do some physical asana yoga? I don't know. I know that there's a lot of options, but those options don't mean anything if you don't ask the question, if you don't, really check in. And it's been so interesting playing these bowls every single morning when I come in and tuning into sound. It's like, wow, I really do operate on a different frequency every single day. You know, because it's my hit, it's my hand that strikes, right? The mallet that strikes the bowl or the gong, that energy is coming from me, and it's like reverberating back at me. It's vibrating back onto me, if you will. So I'm like listening to the sound of my own vibration, if you will. And then that gives me something to work with. I'm like, what do I need from there? Because I assure you it will not be the same every single day, right? This journey is not meant to be nailed and put into a box. This journey of life is a great exploration. And it really involves us tapping in and paying attention every single day to how the human instrument is operating, and how it's vibrating, and what's your frequency level right now. And if that sounds a little freaky, maybe you could laugh it off, or maybe you could just like, what is my frequency right now? You know, because we are energy, right? So back in the day, a lot of you probably never even experienced it before. Back in the day, the tuning of the radio, right? And the moment where you'd go like from a channel where everything was clear to that, and then you'd get into another channel, right? That frequency from one place to the next. Like we want to really tune into that, right? It wasn't a pleasant sound, right? So the practice of listening isn't always the most pleasant thing to start with. Like when I get here first thing in the morning and I hit, and sometimes it's just like, wah. Or when I first chant. Chanting is part of my daily routine too. I mean, sometimes I just sound like a, frog underwater or what have you. And, it's not about perfecting the sound to make it pleasing to the ear, right? Because then that's just a product, which is nice, but I'm not selling anything. This is about me tuning into me and you tuning into you. So it's like, oh wow, what's there? What's stuck in my throat today that's showing up by way of gravel, right? And how can I kind of adapt to that and like apply just the amount of opening and pressure and releasing and letting go and the recipe for the day, that can be my expression, that can come through me in this kind of very new, fresh way. Because we are new and fresh individuals every single moment. Breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Again. One more. Move the body around a little bit. So the body is the instrument that's having the relationship to reality, right? It's the thing in the place that's feeling the temperature and the texture, the amount of light, the time of day. It's all coming through the conduit of the body, whether you slept or didn't sleep, what you ate, etc. It's passing through this instrument. So we're moving it in such a way that it helps us become more aware of what's there. What's inside you right now? How many more days are we going to live where it's just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I want this COVID thing to go away, and that's all I know, and that's all I want, and this just kind of like, kind of placid, shut down, I'll wait till it's over thing. Get in touch with what's there. It's yours. Drop into your hips. Release some of the hold in the lower self. See if you might be willing to really drop down, to really truly sit in this moment of your existence as you now know it. Learn about yourself. Listen to the frequency in your head. Right now, mine is still buzzing, right? Today, there's a lot of activity in my head, right? As a human. And it's my job to tune into it rather than to tune it out, thinking I should be another way. When you're ready, elevate your waist. Open up the midsection where the diaphragm lives. And see if you might broaden across the chest. And consider letting the shoulders go. And soften the face. Allowing the eyelids to grow heavy and the space behind the eyes to become soft. If you're familiar, you might want to shift your inner focus to the space just above the brow. And this point is known as your third eye, a point of inner awareness, the ability to see in. If that's not available today, no big deal. Just drop your awareness into your heart or maybe even your belly. Tune in, listen inward, and try not to judge what you hear. It's a sign of your truth, of your authentic moment that you are living right now. This is what you're working with. This is your frequency right now. The act of paying attention, the act of listening inward. Soften the underbelly, the ribs, and the lungs. Observe the breath inside the body and allow your breath to merge you into whatever internal frequency is occurring. Allow your breath to kind of pillow it or even cradle it inside. So if the head is clamoring and chattering away, so be it. Just let it rest upon the pillow of your breath. If your mind is steady and easy, but maybe your heart aches, same thing. Just let the breath pillow, buffer. So this true act of tuning inward without missing a thing, without editing it out or shunning it away. Listen inward to your frequency right now. And in order for us to find the frequency, all we have to do is realize that we are energetic beings. We are not robots or machines. Let's take it a little further. As we practice this pranayama, the expansion of your breath capacity, I encourage you to breathe slowly and gently. Empty the breath from the underbelly. Slowly breathe in. Gently retain in. Gradually breathe out. Gently retain in. Slowly breathe in. Gently retain in. Gradually breathe out. Gently retain in. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. Release the lock. Let the breath go. Let the breath flow. Move the body. Move the head. Move in space and time. getting more deeply connected to this moment that you are living, tuning into it more greatly. Let's hold space for each other for a few precious moments of quiet here, tuning in, allowing the breath to buffer, pillow, cradle, all thoughts, all sensations, all feelings as you authentically have them. Acknowledging that you are operating on vibration and frequency levels, and none of them have to go. You don't have to get rid of negative thoughts. Acknowledge their existence if they're there, breathe with them, and they'll shift and go when they need to go. Right? How do you apply to this moment in time? How do you operate right here, right now? Go to the breath. Hands to the heart. Let's take a moment of gratitude for this time to sit. You applying yourself to growing more aware, more tuned in, listening wholeheartedly and open-mindedly to all vibrations that pass through you. They're all valid, they all matter. Let's breathe in. Namaste. I've been saying this after all sessions lately. Have the best day that you can have today. And maybe one way, one access point, one entry point into the best day that you can have today is by way of awareness, by way of tuning in to where you're at while you're there. Tomorrow I've decided, anybody local tuning in today, I'm going to bring the Zoom session outside. So what that means is I will record the session for all those that are not local so that you can continue to practice the asana, the flow style of yoga that we do here. But if you are local and you want to come on over, we'll have session together outside in the back parking lot at 10:15. Thank you. Thank you all for choosing to sit with me so consistently, so beautifully. Welcome any new folk. We are together every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And notice how I said that, we are together, right? This is certainly not about me. This is about us, and all I'm doing is marking the time. Okay, it's noon. Let's get on the feed, and presenting some mild guidance on how we might sit, because our culture is not accustomed to sitting comfortably for more than a minute. So we do it together. We hold space for each other together to simply pay attention. Let's seal it up. Let's send it out. May you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart.